Hello everybody, this is Snarist, and welcome back to my Devil May Cry 3 hard difficulty walkthrough with no upgrades, no items, and playing on yellow mode, and playing as Dante. And we're back on mission 4, and I'm using Royal Guard style, just because I want to get my Royal Guard to level 2, and this is a mission that I can quite comfortably use any style, so I'm just going to put Royal Guard on and move on through. So this is a pretty nothing burger mission as well. The easiest way to get around though is just to use a stairwell that isn't broken, but if you can speed on through, just bounce off the wall and move towards it. You can also use Trickster to wall run across it and get it over, but obviously I'm using Royal Guard, so it's not really an option. If anyone's curious about the XP counter in the top left with your style, you get style increased by killing enemies. I don't know if it changes depending on what your style is. I don't think it does, but I know that bosses give you tons of XP. Like ridiculously so. And if you stick with one style consistently, you can get it from level 1 to level 2 by the beginning of mission 5 after you've fought Chester. But I'm not going to do that because I've been mixing it up between Royal Guard and Swordmaster so far. I am going to use Trickster eventually to get that to level 2, because Trickster at level 2 is going to be very, very useful for certain sections. But yeah, I feel very vulnerable here. Because you don't have Stinger or a lot of these other moves, a good way you can get over dealing with the Enigma's projectiles is either using the revolver move with Cerberus, or just using any of its attacks to get it away, or you can go into Million Stab with the whole, I think it's Rebellion Combo 2, where you just attack, then you delay, and then you attack again like that, and then you do the Million Stab like that, because while you're doing that, if any of the Enigma's projectiles, if any of them would normally strike you, what ends up happening instead is they just bounce off and they get destroyed, and you get tons of style for it. See, the reason why I'm sticking with Royal Guard right now is mostly for boss fights, because what I'm going to end up using it for when I get to level 2 is I'm going to be using it in the Beowulf boss fight. I do not like the Beowulf boss fight. I think the camera is awful and the hitboxes are awful, and he's definitely a difficult boss, but with Royal Guard it's much easier to deal with. There is a bit of a way you can cheese him, and I don't know if it's going to be in the video since I recorded this a little while back and I'm only just now getting to the commentary. But after Beowulf, I'm going to be using Royal Guard. I believe I'm going to use it against Virgil 2 at the end of mission 13. If I don't, then I'm probably going to end up using Trickster. I just need a refresher on that when I get to it. But otherwise, Royal Guard style is going to be helpful for me in mission 18, where I'm fighting Beowulf and Agni and Rudra again, because while Royal Guard won't be at level 2 when I fight Agni and Rudra for the first time, it's going to be very, very helpful when I do fight them in mission 18 again. And then I think, even though I shouldn't, and I don't really have to, just for funsies, I use it against Virgil 3 in mission 20 for the finale of the game. That's where I'll use it. So be careful here with the camera angle, because these particular sins, they like to backdash and then use the sort of sandblast they have. I like these guys a lot, but it's still annoying the fact that they always dash backwards. That's always what's annoying, because sometimes you'll find that your attacks and your camera gets a little bit in the way, and it's very annoying for this as well, this challenge run in particular, because with no upgrades means I can't buy the Stinger. And I feel like I should elaborate on that a little bit more. When I say no upgrades and no items, what that means is, obviously in the Divinity statues and in the customization screen before you begin the game, you've got styles. There's no restriction on what style I can use. If I want to use a higher level of style, I need to level it up properly. But otherwise, yeah, I'm free to use whatever style I want, as long as it's unlocked. When it comes to the equipment, I can use whatever I want as long as I get it. And when it comes to items, I can't buy any blue orbs from the store, I can't buy any purple orbs, so I'm always just at the regular devil trigger count when I get it, where I don't have any upgrades to it. I'm not allowed to buy any holy water or vital stars or devil stars, and I'm not allowed to use them. I'm not allowed to buy gold orbs, I'm not allowed to use those, even if I pick up a gold orb, which I don't. But if I did, because there's a few lying around in the environment in places, I just don't use them. You know, the whole point, especially with yellow mode, is that if I die, I've got to start the whole mission again. Now, because a lot of these missions are very short, I don't mind it, and I know enough of the game to get comfortable with it, so I'm quite comfortable with it. And if you get low on health, if you kill enough enemies after a little while, they'll eventually drop health, usually a fair bit, but you might get unlucky. And you won't notice until later on in the game where you've got so little health that it really starts to affect you. Because some of those enemies take a big pounding, and when they hit you it's bad news. But I also found I've actually become a little bit of a better player at this game by going through a few different times with no upgrades, because it's helped me to do better. And speaking of no upgrades, that means I can't upgrade my guns either. I can't upgrade any of my actions, meaning I can't buy Stinger, I can't buy Drive or Air Hike, so I can't get double jump on these moves, I can't, you know, buy any upgrades to whatever combos actually exist with the weapons that I have. Just nothing at all. And so my health can't upgrade. I know there's a couple of blue orb fragments you could possibly pick up along the way that, you know, you'll run into them by accident and you may pick them up by accident, but as long as you don't pick up 4 of them, you're all good. So what you want to do for the, I believe it's Nick called Megapede. Cerberus is the best for this, not Rebellion. You want to get on top of him and you want to go for his head, and until you start attacking him he won't start moving you off, but just do the regular attack with Cerberus and just hit him in the head. I tried to use Revolver here to catch all of the purple orbs and throw it back at him, but the best thing to do is just to regularly attack. Now, you're not guaranteed to deflect all of the orbs, but you will deflect quite a few of them, and it does quite a bit of damage. And this is always the best place to wait for him to pop back up, but sometimes the Megapede will go in and out of different holes here. He'll usually end up back at the one on the right. Now, I'm careful and just trying to run around and making sure I always know where he is, because sometimes even if you wait here and he doesn't show up, he'll appear from the far end, but he'll like fly above the arena where you can't touch him, and he'll throw down purple balls at you, and you won't be able to see them coming, and you're only getting hit. So here I go, very, very lucky. I expected him to fire off more of them, but he didn't. And I'll tell you what, when you have Spiral in this section here, you can do some serious damage by spamming Ebony and Ivory and Spiral together. If you don't know what I mean by that, it means when you're shooting Ebony and Ivory, or just any gun in general, you can just shoot regularly and you can spam the switch gun, and you can just keep on going back and forth, so the delay between the spiral shots or any other gun shots, it's not quite as big. And I was very lucky right there getting all those hits on the Megapede. You can do that sometimes and he just doesn't want to throw you off. Very useful to have. But anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next part.